Hi guys, this is Anna and welcome to my book review of Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is one of those Russian classics everyone seems to be reading. It's a rather long book. It's made out of 4 parts. He calls them parts, but they're really 4 books, and then each of them is subdivided. So you have 12 parts in total and then an epilogue. So when I say long, I mean it's about, in Russian, in the edition I was reading, more than 900 pages. And if you thought War and Peace was a long read, then I think Brothers Karamazov will take you longer, simply because the book exerts more of the pull on you. It's a very different book compared to the War and Peace. So in this video what I will try to do is to convince you to read it, even if you're a reader who already tried it and disliked it. I'll tell you why, because I have tried to read the Brothers Karamazov, the way it sounds in Russian, years ago back in school, and I so much disliked it that I abandoned the book, which I very rarely do, but I struggle with the content, and I really think that it's not the book that you should read if you're really young. I was 16. I was not prepared for that at all. So if you are going to read it, my advice to you would be read a little bit about Christianity if you're completely agnostic or if you're an atheist, because there is a lot of the book devoted to religious debate. Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky was a Russian Orthodox, and this is his last book, the very last book he has written. It's taken him a long time to do. He was kind of developing his ideas throughout the years while he was writing other books. And if you compare it, say, to Crime and Punishment, it does demand more from you. But there are some of the techniques he uses which he uses in all of his other books. If you read Crime and Punishment and you liked it, then you're mostly gonna like Brothers Karamazov, but you have to really approach it slightly differently. So there are 3 things why I really like the book. Number 1, and I'm gonna go through all of them, is I love the deep psychological analysis of each character. There is no character development the way you see with Tolstoy. Instead, you have the entirety of 900 pages covering a very short, well, about 4 months maximum period of time, where we get to see a very dysfunctional family, and all of the main characters are really deeply explored psychologically. So really good. Second reason why I really like it is the plot. If you like soap operas, if you like family drama, you have everything in this book. You have murder, you have trial, you have suicide, you have a love triangle, you have pretty much all of the 7 deadly sins covered in this book. And I mean, characters are as immoral as it gets. And the third reason why I like it is for the way the author, Fyodor Dostoevsky, has this discussion, I think through himself. It's his own ideas of the world he's going through when he talks about the difference of the Russian Orthodox Church with the other religions and with people who are atheists. So he's trying to build this idealized world. And then, even though he was in his 50s, like late 40s, 50s, writing it, he sounds like a young teenage guy who believes in a utopian world. And he's trying to say that if you live through Russian Orthodox Church, that will solve all of the issues in the society. And I'll deal with it towards the end of the video. So, what do we have in the book? We have 4 half-brothers. All are brothers through their father. A very interesting character in his own right. He is immoral. He loves all the essential aspects of life, so it's gluttony and lust, and he likes drinking. He doesn't really care about his children. So over his life, he procures 4 children, all boys. So you have Dmitri. From his first marriage, his wife ran away from him because I think she found the marriage a little bit difficult to stomach. She was a rich woman, he married her for her money. He profited from the dowry. She left everything to him by law, just escaped. And so Dmitri is the oldest. Then he married a second woman and she bore him 2 sons. You have Ivan, he's the oldest from those duo. And then you have Alyosha, who is the youngest. However, it transpires from the book, and it's very heavily hinted multiple times, that he also managed to have an illegitimate bastard child, another boy, who now serves in his house as a cook, Smirdyukov, who knows about those rumors, but who's never accepted as a legitimate child, or even as a illegitimate child. This is never mentioned in the book. So you have those four brothers, and you get to see their world, and it's a very interesting construction of the text, because you have multiple narration points from various characters, and at the same time the whole book is written by an author who lives in the same city and who puts to you his own opinion of the events. So in the course of this book, you get the father being murdered, so you have patricide, you have four brothers all wanted to inherit the money, you have Ivan and Dmitry, who both have an affair with Katerina, a rich woman, and she's gonna choose one over another. At the same time, Dmitry, or Mitya as he's often called, he falls in love with a woman, and it's the same woman his father fancies as well, Grushenka. So you have a love triangle between the father and oldest son, and then a love triangle between two oldest brother. And then you also have Alyosha, who is this hero of the book, in a way, who kind of spends the first half of the book living in a monastery, but he's never actually taken a vow, so he just lives there. And he has a kind of romantic relationship with a woman, and it's implied towards the end that she might have somehow had a romantic relationship with Ivan. It's just like basically triangle and triangle and triangle. So it's a lot of drama. Generally, Dostoevsky writing is full of drama, which brings me to the second point. It's too much. If you like teenage angst, if you like Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye, you would love this book. At times, I found it suffocating, and I had to just walk away from the book, because it was just full-on assault of my senses. And Dostoevsky, he is brutal in the way he describes it. I mean, he spent a quite a big part of his life living in the underworld. Very poor people, he's seen it all. And he's not kind to any of his characters. I mean, they all are shown to be horrible, immoral individuals. And the first two parts of the book I really didn't like. It was just dragging on, and you were waiting and waiting and waiting. There was one amazing part for me from a psychological perspective. Then you talk about Snegirov, like one of the subplots of the book, and you just could see the same amazing psychologist as you saw in Crime and Punishment. I was like, yeah, this is fabulous, but I was really not into the rest of it. So much drinking going on in this book, like seriously, just so much constant drinking and profligacy, and it's just, and I'm not religious, so I found even the religious aspect quite irritating at times. However, I can see why it's there, and I'll get towards it. So first is psychological aspect, second is this drama. There's so much. I mean, if you reread Crime and Punishment and you already know the story, it's still a lot. And what I found challenging personally is the amount of dirt Dostoevsky puts in front of you. I mean, you have description of child abuse, and you have description of pedophilia, and a little boy being torn to pieces during the hunt in front of his mother by the dogs. If you found A Little Life quite harrowing, this is nothing compared to Brothers Karamazov. I mean, seriously, the most gruesome and gross aspects of human anatomy and human thoughts, they're all there. And it gets worse towards the, I found some bits properly disturbing in the last part, when the middle brother, Ivan, goes slightly crazy and he is visited by the devil. And it's written really, really uncannily. I had to read it several times because it was just a bit too much for me. It's not a book I would recommend for anyone who's too young. I mean, you need to have a little bit of a life experience. Otherwise, it will completely be not your cup of tea. And the third thing why I liked it is the whole debate with the church, because I'm agnostic, so usually I don't like it when someone tries to push religions onto me, trying to say, oh, you should really get engaged with it will improve your life. I don't like it. Like, if you believe in God, I will respect your religion, just don't try to push it on me. However, in this book, no one is trying to push anything on you. Instead, you see Dostoevsky's own life view, and he honestly believes that the Russian Orthodox Church is the only true church, and it will allow the society to heal itself. So if you're completely religious, truly religious deep down in your soul, you're not going to commit all of the crimes, and it will solve all the problems. At the same time, for the first half of the book, you have Alyosha, the youngest brother, who's like this angel, this role model of being wonderful. At the same time, I was reading thinking like, this is so dubious. This is just not right, because he has so much inner turmoil. He's not the saint Dostoevsky wants him to be. And then I went and reread it, and I realized that actually he was playing with me as a reader. He was trying to show that Alyosha was still human, and he was just trying to suppress his nature inside him. There are definitely 7 deadly sins, all mentioned in his book, and you see the fallout of the characters and the way they have to deal with the consequences, which I found fabulous. Also, if you like Kafka The Trial, you can completely see where he got his inspiration from. He got his inspiration from book 4 of Brothers Karamazov, and he never actually hid it. He openly said that he loved the book, he loved Dostoevsky, and he was greatly inspired, and you can see it, as I mentioned. So yes, I will recommend the book. However, go into it with your eyes open. Be prepared. If there is too much of religious content and you're not from the Christian background, read the Bible, at least the main New Testament. That will really help. And give it a go. It will be worth it. If you persevere with it, that book will be worth it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have read the book, if you're in the process of reading, please let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.